Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This week's show is going to be one of those Encore presentation episodes of Tech It Out. I'm speaking to you right now from Santorini, Greece, where I'm enjoying a long overdue vacation with my beautiful wife, Kelly. And so I'm going to replay an episode of Tech It Out from a few months back that I enjoyed instead of a fresh new show, which will return next weekend. I hope you enjoy it. I've got a treat for you. Legendary filmmaker Kevin Smith is going to be on the show today. Well, I was on his show, to be precise. He was sitting in for Gary and Shannon on the iconic KFI AM 640 in LA, and I was given permission to use that interview on Tech It Out. So we're going to get to that momentarily. The one and only Kevin Smith to kick off Tech It Out in a moment. But also on the show today, if you're in the market for a new TV, what should you look for? We'll be joined by Hisense. It's a brand that you no doubt have seen a lot these days. They sponsor the NBA, World Cup soccer, and they've just launched its 100-inch TV that was just unveiled at the recent Consumer Electronics Show, CES, in Vegas. The 100-inch Hisense U76N is $29.99. So yeah, $3,000 for a 100-inch 4K QLED TV. That's quantum dot technology for greater color. And that's, by the way, 40% off the regular retail price of $5,000. This TV also runs at 144 hertz, which means, in plain English, it's super smooth for football and other sports and video games. Also on the show, we're going to learn about a dating app for music lovers called Vinally. Love that name. So vinyl and finally. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out powered by Intel, which I'll tell you more about shortly. But let's officially kick off this week's show with a chat with none other than Kevin Smith. What? Yes, I totally geeked out on Thursday when he interviewed me, little old me, on KFI, the #1 talk radio station in Southern California, including LA, the OC, and San Diego, and the #1 talk radio station on iHeartRadio. We chatted about DVD Easter eggs, the 40th anniversary of the Mac, the 25th anniversary of BlackBerry, health and wellness gadgets for physical and mental health, and a lot more. So here's an edited version of our chat with the Kevin Smith.
It's time to talk tech, Tech Talk.
The machines are getting smarter. This is Tech Talk, brought to you by Skynet.
Tech Talk, kids. We got Mark Saltzman on the line. Mark, you there?
I am indeed. Hey, Kevin. Good to chat with you.
Excellent chatting with you, man. You're going to help us understand this crazy new future and present that we live in.
Yeah, we're going to geek out.
Yeah, I'm ready to geek out, man. We got, it's the right day. Masters of the Universe Revolution just dropped on Netflix, and that's all about magic verse technology. So, sweet. As you can see, we speak the same language.
Hey, well, look, hey, we're of the same ilk, I think. We were both born in 1970.
Are you a 70 kid?
Sharing that with your audience. Yeah, a couple months before you. I'm late May.
You don't.
Yeah, you're in the summer.
You don't sound like a 53-year-old to me. You sound younger.
I'll take that. That's all good.
And you're Canadian as well. My favorite type of person. What part are you from?
I'm in Toronto.
Oh, right up in Toronto, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, I know you're an honorary Canadian.
Many people have felt that I am Canadian because of the movies and the hockey jerseys.
The hockey jerseys for sure. Though, I think you're a Devils fan. But anyways, we're not going to go there.
You can't possibly be a Leafs fan, are you? Are you still holding out hope for the Leafs?
Oh, gosh. All right. I deserve that. And you went to Vancouver Film School.
I did.
Too, awesome.
I am honorary Canadian with the U in honorary, not how we spell it down here, because I spent so much time up there in the Great White North.
Sweet. Yeah, I live in the Great White North, and but I love being on KFI every Thursday, and I have a podcast and syndicated radio show called Tech It Out, which runs in the States as well. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
that's adorable. Tech It Out is a great name. How long have you been podcasting?
Podcasting about 5 years. Radio since the mid '90s. I started, I guess, around the same time that, I don't know, maybe a year before Dogma came out.
Well,
I'm just trying to like put it
in 94, so we probably started our career at the same time.
They're very cool, very cool.
I would love to switch out with you, dude, because I'm a big Canada fan. So if you ever want to live here in California and whatnot, I will do Toronto in your place for a while.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll
and
Freaky Friday it.
You're working on this movie 4:30, so I don't know if you want my help on that, but if you want it to succeed.
I am, I've
the 4:30 movie.
I've been threatened for years, and I will make eventually a movie called Moose Jaws, which is just Jaws but with a moose instead of a shark.
Yeah.
And it's set in Canada, and I will need your help then.
Part of your trilogy.
Yes.
Love it.
Love it.
Awesome.
Well schooled. All right, take us to the tech talk, Mark. What you got, man?
So, hey, look, it's still January. I know a lot of KFI listeners are still wrestling with their New Year's resolutions. So I wrote a couple articles about some ways tech can help you. You might not think of tech and, fitness. You might think they're mutually exclusive, but the two can go hand in hand. If you don't have a smartwatch yet, I recommend grabbing one. It's already on your wrist and it can capture all kinds of data. So you choose which one works best for you. Shameless plug. I wrote the book Apple Watch for Dummies, but you need an iPhone for the most part. The Fitbits and the Pixels and the Samsung watches are just as good, I think, for the most part.
I'm a Fitbit guy myself. When I went into Sierra Tucson last year, that they gave us the only way you could tell time, because it's in a clinic, right? So they don't put clocks up because they're trying to keep you from dealing with reality while they teach you how to deal with reality. They put Fitbits on us and be like, hey, man, now you can know the time. And I was like, right on. Then he found out later on, that's how they track you, Mark.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Yeah, that's how they found out whether you left campus or not. But I still wear it to this day. I'm a big step counter.
Look, man, data is bliss, not ignorance is bliss. So it'll show you what you're up to or not at all. It also can help you sleep, which is good. It gives all kinds of sleep tracking. If you're into home gyms, the likes of Peloton and all that are great, not cheap. But they will help motivate you. They'll have a big, HD screen, and you can compete against others with trainers, and really try to work on yourself this year. There's also speaking of Canada, the Lululemon Studio, which is a large mirror that also has interactive classes as well. That's a little bit less.
So wait, you can just buy a mirror, and the mirror has like a TV in it, and that helps you work out. So you're looking in the mirror working out.
Full body mirror. Yeah, that's the idea. And then all these services have apps too. If you don't need the hardware, you want to work, on a mat or something, you just use the app. It's a lot less expensive. And then for mental health.
What if you're one of those people that does not want to see all your undulating flesh in a mirror as you exercise? Is there a blindfold, a tech blindfold we could put on?
No, that's a great idea though. Some augmented reality glasses so you look like Brad Pitt or something.
See, your idea is way better than mine. Oh, that's fantastic.
For mental health, tech also can help, everything from virtual reality programs that can help you meditate. It'll look like when you look around you that you are on top of a mountain.
Are you serious?
And you are being guided. Yeah, these really spiritually driven exercises for breathing and mindfulness and meditation. Some of them are free.
I've always found it really hard to meditate. I got one of those brains that race too fast. However, the biggest challenge is like up of a mountain. So if you got some VR tech makes me feel up there, I might be able to make that connection. It could cost a lot of money, but I might find inner peace.
Well, the new Apple Vision Pro is coming out next month, and that is going to be a lot of money. It's $3,500.
What?
But yeah, that's really a lot.
What do they do? What does it do? Pay your mortgage?
So
what does it do for that much money?
No, you have to take a second mortgage out just to buy it. It's like a mixed reality headset. So not only is it VR, but it's AR or augmented reality. So that means you can also see the world around you. So you pop it on, and then seemingly floating in the room that you're sitting in are all the icons that you would normally see, like say on an iPhone. And it's got eye tracking. So when you look at, say, photos with your eyes, that icon illuminates because it knows you're looking at it, and then you just tap your forefinger and thumb together like you're about to pinch, and it'll open up that app. And now you can look at photos. You can get it it's like 3D videos, almost like holograms when you're chatting with somebody over FaceTime. So there's a lot it can do. I don't want to, I'm poo-pooing it for its price, but it's pretty ambitious. It's got 1,000 patents. But you don't need that for this meditation program. You can get Meta Quest 2, which is formerly Facebook's it's now called Meta, a couple years old, and that'll do the trick. Or if you have a smart speaker for as low as $30, you can say the wake word. I don't want to make everybody's speakers go off. And then just say open Calm. And I don't know if you ever use the Calm app, where it's, again, guided, meditative.
Wonderful app.
Yeah, so that's a good idea. You can buy inexpensive essential oil diffusers. So the point is, tech can help you with your physical or mental fitness this year, anything if that is part of your resolutions. Yeah, so I thought we would chat about that today, given that it's still January. I think it's still fair game to talk about New Year's resolutions. As a film buff, that was a real kick to chat with Kevin Smith. I'll play a little bit more later on in the show if we have time. We chatted about the Mac's 40th birthday and the 25th anniversary of the BlackBerry and a few other fun topics. But as promised, our next guest after this short break is with Hisense, and we're going to talk about what to look for when you're shopping for a TV. This company has a bunch of them, including a 100-inch model that was unveiled back in January at the Consumer Electronics Show and now available for under $3,000, which is pretty crazy. So a lot more Tech It Out coming up. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. If you want to say hi online, you can find me on X, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, and others. It's Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Again, that's MarkSaltzman. I love this Starbucks meme that people keep sending me. It's of a Starbucks cup where someone gave their name and the barista wrote CARK, and the caption underneath says, I told her my name was Mark with a C. CARK. Well, that's something you gotta see. And of course, my friend sent it to me because I am Mark with a C. All right. But I digress. When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to catch up with Hisense to learn about its 100-inch TV. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out, powered by Intel. The Intel Core Ultra processor represents the largest shift in Intel's CPU design in more than 40 years, adding generative AI capabilities to the laptop. This makes accessing your data more personalized, faster, and more secure than leveraging the cloud. Get immediate results by asking your computer something like, show me the email where I was promised a raise, or where are my wedding photos? The AI PC is here. More info is at intel.com/Core Ultra. That's intel.com/Core Ultra. Even though this summer isn't generally a busy time for buying consumer electronics, you're going to start seeing some ads for new TVs soon for the fall. And so if you're in the market for a new television for 2024, we're going to talk about the latest TV trends and terms you should know about with our next guest from Hisense. Lindsay Takashima in sales at Hisense is joining us. Hi, Lindsay. Thanks for your time today.
Hi, Mark. Same here.
And good to see you, by the way, on our way to the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I'll ask you in a moment about CES and Hisense's presence there. We'll also talk TV trends. But before all that, please give us a Hisense 101, if you will. Tell us a bit about the company.
Sure. Hisense was founded in 1969 and in China, and we came to North America just a little more than 12, 13 years ago. And since then, we've been selling Hisense branded televisions as well as appliances from Canada all the way down to the tip of South America these days. And we've made great strides in getting brand awareness out there, and certainly with the product breadth and quality improvements over the last number of years, we're starting to make a real name for ourselves in the Americas.
Yeah, congrats. And you're a sponsor of FIFA, right?
Yeah, certainly we've been sponsors of the past two World Cups and the past two Euro Cups.
Awesome.
And this year we have the Euro Cup in Germany, and we're a prime sponsor there, as well as from a North American standpoint, from Canada down to Mexico. We are also the official sponsor for the NBA for consumer electronics, televisions, and home appliances.
Oh, wow, that's right. So great branding. I'm sure our listeners are familiar with your teal logo.
Yes. Right on the mark.
How was your CES, Lindsay? Again, it was good to see you on our way there, but we haven't yet chatted after the show. Did you have a good time in Sin City?
It's a good time. I'd say more of a busy time. As we've grown over the last number of years, certainly we've made a lot of inroads with our dealer base or network, as well as the consumer. And so, yeah, it's very busy, a lot of meetings. But at the same time, what we were really excited about was what we were presenting, and certainly what's happening, or the trends is happening in the marketplace, is bigger TV sets, better quality overall. And so it's just, it's an exciting time of the year, and we're excited about 2024.
All right, so with that in mind, without further ado, what are the biggest trends when it comes to TVs? It might be a good reminder about upgrading your TV in the home. So break it down for us.
Yeah, it is really good timing. In many ways, people these days, they're very concerned with their discretionary funds and what they're going to spend their money on. And certainly what we offer as a manufacturer, as a brand, we offer great quality products, good performance at a reasonable or respectable price point. And so what our direction has been in the last couple of years is quantum dot or QLED based TV sets. And now more recently, since 2023 and beyond for 2024 is to increase the number of series and screen sizes that not only incorporate QLED panel technology, but also mini LED backlighting, which basically can give you better contrast ratios, better blacks, better colors overall because of the number of LEDs that we have in the back because they're smaller, and being able to control turning them on and turning them off depending on the content that's on the screen.
All right, so some of the trends then are it's better lighting control with the mini LEDs, bigger sizes, as you've hinted at. How big are some of the Hisense TVs that you sell?
Well, perfect timing for the big game coming up in a few weeks. We are launching our 100-inch QLED TV with local dimming, and this will be launching right now, and it'll be ready for our promotion for the big game in February. And 100-inch, when you think about the size, a couple of years ago, 75 and even 85 was a very large TV. And now we have 100-inch at very affordable price points.
Wow, 100-inch TV. You're just going back a couple of years ago where 75 was big, but I'm old enough to remember when 32 inches was ample, at the risk of dating myself. But that's amazing, Lindsay. So local dimming and then QLED, just quickly, the benefits to that is richer colors?
Yeah, well, QLED stands for quantum dot light emitting diodes. And essentially the quantum dot allows a wider spectrum of color, essentially gives you a more true to life image that you're seeing on the screen. And also with that said, it's also 144 hertz. So in other words, fast action, whether you're watching sports or let's say you're hooking a PC up to it and you want a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or a console. Yeah.
Certainly the set will allow you to do that. And, you're going to get an amazing picture quality without any motion blur or frame tearing.
So with that in mind, what are some of your more popular models that you can buy today, Lindsay?
Yeah, certainly what's been very popular is all of our QLED product for 2023, and certainly that continues for 2024.
I'll tell you more about that 100-inch Hisense TV that's on sale when we return, and also chat projectors. Projectors, of course, the main benefit is that they're portable, and it can give you a picture even greater than 100 inches. And so there are definite pros and cons to projectors versus TVs. We're going to continue with both with Hisense. You are listening to Tech It Out on the Radio American Network. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. Hope you're having an amazing 4th of July super long weekend and a safe one. So stick with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out when we continue chatting with Hisense about big screen TVs and projectors. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We are chatting with Lindsay Takashima at Hisense. We're chatting TV trends. We will chat about laser projectors in a minute, but speaking of those Hisense models, the 100-inch U76N is now available, priced at $29.99. That, to me, yes, that's of course, it's a lot of money. It's $3,000, but for a 100-inch 4K QLED TV, yes, 100 inches, that is a great price. So that's 40% off the manufacturer's suggested retail price of about $5,000. And that TV also runs at 144 hertz, which means it's super smooth for sports like football, as well as video gamers who need that kind of refresh rate. Now, Lindsay, before the break, you were about to tell us about projectors, as if 100 inches wasn't big enough. I believe you were going to tell us about the ultra short throw projectors.
Yeah, consumers that want an even bigger picture, or they may want a 100-inch TV, but it may not necessarily fit in their elevator or around a corner down the stairs into the basement. Our laser TVs have been very popular. They're based on an ultra short throw DLP type projectors. That allows us to be able to put a larger screen up to 120 inches into somebody's basement and be able to take full advantage of watching, the big game or playing video games on it.
That's a good segue, Lindsay, because I wanted to wrap up on your projectors. So they're called ultra short throw, which means they sit on the floor rather than mounted to the ceiling, and they're only like a couple inches away from the wall, right? You don't have it at the back of the room.
Correct. Rather than having them mounted on, your typical front projectors where you're mounting it on the ceiling, behind you or just above, and you can hear the fan noise. These ultra short throw projectors sit inches away from the wall, just underneath the screen. The benefit of this is because the light has a shorter distance to travel, it's also laser light. So because the light has a shorter distance to travel, you get a brighter screen. You don't have to turn all the lights off in the room in order to see the image. And because it's laser, it's brighter, and it will last up to 20,000 hours. Versus an overhead projector that you'd be lucky if you get 5,000 hours out of the bulb before you have to replace the bulb. So the other benefit that I really like about this technology is, if you get up and go get a drink from the kitchen or something like that, when you walk in front of it or you stand up, typical overhead projectors, you'll see, the shadow of that person, the silhouette of that person walking by the screen. Whereas with an ultra short throw, you're not walking in front of the projector. So it's undisturbing the image that you're seeing on the screen.
Yeah, you don't want to do that during Super Bowl Sunday. Your friends may not like that very much.
Especially on a touchdown play or something.
Awesome, Lindsay. All right. And then finally, what's the best website to see all these models, your televisions and your ultra short throw projectors, as well as pricing, retailer support, videos and photos and all that?
Very easily, you can go to www.hisense.com to find all the information.
All right. And Hisense is Hisense.com. Hey, Lindsay, great to chat with you. All the best for 2024. Appreciate you carving some time with us to talk.
Yeah, same to you, Mark. Take care.
All right, as promised, I'm going to play a little bit more from my interview with Kevin Smith, the Kevin Smith, 15-time filmmaker who didn't just direct these movies, but wrote, I think, 14 out of those 15. It was a real kick where he interviewed me last week on KFI in Los Angeles. Let's now pivot and talk anniversaries, the Mac, and then BlackBerry.
Hey, Mark, Mac turns 40 this year. Is that right?
Yeah. Can you believe that? That's crazy.
Yeah. Talk about a tool that literally changed my existence and is a daily part of my world. As a person who writes all the time, not just a person who surfs the internet and does all that nonsense, but as a writer, this was an invaluable tool. I was a typewriter guy before I got my first Mac laptop in 1994.
Wow. Yeah. So yesterday, 40th anniversary of the, I don't know if you remember the Super Bowl commercial. We were, I guess, 14.
Of course.
It came out. So it was black and white. It was this Orwellian kind of vibe where everybody was the same. Yeah, that's what it was called. And then I think this woman threw a spear or something through the glass.
Hammer,
color.
Sledgehammer kind of thing.
Sledgehammer. Thank you. Well, you're the filmmaker, so you would remember that.
It was directed by Ridley Scott, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a massive, expensive ad that honestly, promised something huge is happening, and they weren't wrong.
Yeah. Well, it was the first successful mass-marketed computer with a graphical interface. Don't forget, before that, it was DOS on a Windows where it was all typing. Now you had a mouse, a computer mouse. Look, they each copied off of each other, right? Microsoft and Apple.
They all stole from Xerox,
borrowed,
right?
Yeah, they all borrowed from, and them too, of course, right? But look, you got to give them props where it's due. I'm still waiting for a touchscreen Mac. It's not going to happen.
Is that right? Why will that never happen?
I don't know. I guess they feel like it's going to cannibalize other parts of their business. I use a Mac for video editing, and that's it. I use a Windows PC for everything else. I like the versatility of it. I love touchscreens. I love the 2-in-1s where the screen pops off or bends around and becomes a tablet. There's a lot more, I think, innovation when it comes to Windows PCs. That's just me. I'm old school, but Macs they're rock solid. You don't get a lot of viruses on them. Everything's the whole walled garden approach. Everything's been vetted, what you download, right? So
I've been a Mac guy forever. I've very rarely do I ever flirt with the PC world, unless it has something to do with editing or something like that. But I've watched, I'm a guy who, like you, both of us born 1970. Like, there was a time where these screens were not a part of our world, man. But like, my kid is a kid who grew up on screens. My daughter Harley Quinn is like 24 years old. The other day, I literally handed her a framed photo of my father when he was like 27 years old. I was like, look at Grandpa, check him out. And she took it was a handheld frame photo, about the size of a cell phone, but she took it from me, and then she pinched the picture to try to make it larger.
Oh, come on.
I was like, are you insane? She's like, I forgot. I'm so sorry.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious. That's a good one. That's a total Gen Z thing.
You're not kidding. Well, we live in a world, man, where we are used to pinching. And not just loaves anymore. We're used to pinching the screen, spreading the image out and whatnot. And that's all because of a bunch of people. But Jobs gets the credit for being the visionary who's like, I could pull it all together. Yes, he didn't necessarily invent every technology or necessarily code himself, but he had some vision that we could all be in on this, not just some people.
Well, Kevin Smith really knows his... You know what? It's not just a one-trick pony. Knows his tech as well. If we have time, we're going to play a little bit more from that throughout this show. We chatted about the 25th anniversary of the BlackBerry. But as promised, after this short break, we're going to catch up with the founder of an app called Vinally that fuses music appreciation with matchmaking, which I like a lot. That's called Vinally. I guess it's a play on words with the word vinyl and finally. Since it's a dating app, you're finally meeting your match, and based on musical taste. I think that's a pretty clever idea, but we're going to chat with the company when we return after this short break. Does this hit a sour note, or is it music to your ears? Stick with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. So, hey, are you looking for love in all the wrong places, like the old song goes, or are you trying new apps and other ways to connect with people in the 21st century? It's about music compatibility. That's what we're going to learn about right now with the matchmaking app Vinally with its founder, Rachel Van Nortwick. Thank you, Rachel, for joining us today. I love the name of the app, by the way.
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you for having me.
All right. So it's called Vinally. At a high level, what's it all about?
So the name, it's a sort of a play off of vinyl, of course, and finally, sort of meaning if you're a music fan, you can finally find your match with this app. So I'm a huge lifelong music fan, serial concert goer, and I realized, several years ago that there wasn't an app that matched based on music. And I saw a lot of my friends and family struggling on the traditional dating apps, and music was super important to them. So I created Vinally with the idea that we would be data forward, meaning unlike some of the other traditional apps, which are more superficial, I wanted Vinally to really be about matching through your music DNA. So essentially just putting your music self out there in an effort to drive real authentic matches based on music.
I saw on the website for Vinally that this is science-based technology. So can you elaborate on that? I guess those who like the same music are perhaps a compatible match?
Well, in terms of the science, what's interesting about Vinally and our mission is that music has been proven to have various positive effects on the brain. So as it relates to connections, music, when someone is listening to the music that they love, that positive sensation is heightened in sharing that with someone else. There's a lot of academic research on this, scientific research on this, and music also certainly has been known to heal people. Generally speaking, listening to music can increase dopamine, lower cortisol. So it's just music in itself is a feel-good place for many of us. And then if you can find somebody to share it with, it doesn't even need to be, the exact same music that you're into. It can have positive effects for both people.
Could you explain then how it works? Are you listening to music on the app as you're looking for a date or potential love interest? Or do you fill out a form that basically says, hey, I like this kind of music or this particular artist. I'm a Taylor Swift fan, or I love reggae, whatever.
So with Vinally, we have two options. You can sync your Spotify streaming history and then answer a few questions about the role music plays in your life and what's important to you. We have matches that we produce that way. Or if you prefer, let's say you use a bunch of streaming services, or if you're just, you just collect vinyl, you can create your profile through Vinally. We have a proprietary profile generator, and same thing. You'll also answer a few questions about, the role music plays in your life. Either way, we present you with all of the matches that we think you'd be compatible with based on our algorithm. Everything at Vinally is music based. So, we order the matches for you from high volume to low volume. We, you can push play on people and shuffle, things like that. There's no swiping. From there, if you come across somebody whose profile is interesting, you can click into them and listen to songs on their playlist. You can see, their first concert, last concert, the artists that they like, all of those things before actually deciding to push play on them.
All right. So it's not like Tinder or other apps where you're swiping left or right to say that you're interested in a potential match. This is more about exploring those who were sort of picked by the data behind Vinally to suggest they may be a match. And so you can then have a deeper dive and listen to their playlist and read what music means to them, what concert they last attended. They just saw Billy Joel at MSG, that kind of thing. And that's where you reach out if you're interested, and then you hope to hear back.
Yeah. So you can send, a chat message to someone that you're interested in, and we provide conversation starters in the app. So, they're all music based, and they're actually pulling variable data from, the matches profile so that you actually, come across you've spent some time looking at their profile. And then, you can chat for free. I should mention the app is free. You can actually search, suggest, and buy concert tickets all within the chat as well. So we try to take you kind of from first interest all the way through first date.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And is Vinally an app only, or is it a website as well?
No, it's just an app, a mobile app that's available on iOS and Android. We don't have, a web app or a web version.
Got it. All right. We are chatting with Rachel Van Nortwick. She is the founder of Vinally, which fuses vinyl or music appreciation with finally being able to meet someone based on either similar tastes or something else about them that resonates with you. I believe a Spotify account was required to use Vinally, but that's no longer the case.
When the app first launched, that was the way that we were able to get your streaming data to be able to have our algorithm do the work and create matches. But, we received a lot of feedback. Spotify may not be the primary, music service provider for someone. Mm-hmm. They may also be streaming music for, their kids, or they may be, we do get this one a lot. Hey, I was in this interesting phase where I was listening to all this music, but I don't think it represents me, and I want to be able to, curate, my playlist a little bit better. So, what's nice about the Spotify sync, it's super quick, and you also benefit from, our app showing you a bunch of the other metadata behind the music you're listening to on Spotify. So you can find out all of the genres that you like and the subgenres. We call them jams, but it's super cool. It's almost like going through a little bit of a music 23andMe, and you can learn about yourself. But the great thing about signing up through email and going through a profile generator is that anybody that's a music fan can jump on and create a profile in seconds. Similarly, create a playlist, and you can actually edit the playlist over and over through that route.
More about Vinally when we return on Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
Hey, are you having a good day so far? Well, we've got a few more minutes with Rachel Van Nortwick from Vinally. This is an app that pairs up people with like-minded musical tastes, or compatible, let's say, musical tastes. I love that. You mentioned it was free, or at least the initial chat over the platform, over the app. Is there any paid element? And if not, how does Vinally make money?
Sure. So all of it's free. There's not an in-app purchase, or there's not currently a download cost as well. So it's free. We started the app. We launched the app on iOS October 2019, which was right before the pandemic. It just seemed the right thing to do to make the app free, especially because people couldn't meet anybody in person.
Sure.
Really, dating apps were the only way. And we didn't want to create a barrier. And we were, and still are in growth mode. So for us, that's made sense. In terms of, the app making money, we have some differentiation from other apps in that, Vinally is also a community of music fans. For that community, they're interested in learning about new artists, tours, and merch, and buying tickets and all of those things. So Vinally is working on strategic partnerships with promoters and labels and venues to try to drive, actually like a nice kind of flywheel for both of, our users as well as partners in the music space to, just continue to find connections through music and ultimately help sell more single tickets, right? So that's partners in the music industry struggle with. It's like, how do we get, two music fans who don't necessarily want to go to a concert alone to find each other and buy tickets and go? So it's very difficult when you have single tickets to move them. So that's what we're hoping to achieve.
That's really neat. And speaking of which, you called yourself a serial concert goer. I like that. But yes. I also read that you believe concerts are getting weird, quote unquote. How so?
I wrote a blog article where, this was a personal observation, and it is based off of, having gone to about, 500 concerts, in that, people are forgetting why they bought tickets to the concert in the first place, or at least what I just talked about earlier, just the power of music to make you feel good and to help you connect with other people. Like, that's ultimately why you buy tickets. And so what I think, we've gone a little sideways is that we get to concerts and we either overcomplicate like the logistics, like if you're at a festival trying to hit every single, artist, which is impossible. And so then therefore you're kind of like stressed out and you're not like focused on just like being in the moment with the music, or you are busy trying to capture the concert, right? So you're just like constantly on social media, constantly on your phone, and you're actually like missing out. Like, it's not, you think that maybe you're creating memories for later, but you're supposed to be there creating that memory now. And that's going to have a lot more of a positive effect on you in the long run than sharing it on social. Or let's be honest, most of us don't actually go back and watch, the videos and stuff from concerts.
Fair.
So I just want people to really enjoy this moment that, you've paid a lot for, especially today, like just the demand on tickets and the pricing, and enjoy it. Music is therapy. It's like free therapy. Yeah, it's just about being present. And I think we've gotten a little bit away from that.
All right. So as we wrap up, Rachel, how do we get going with Vinally? Simply just download the app and set up an account?
Exactly. Yes. So we're available, in the US and Canadian app stores. You can download the app, upload some photos, and start chatting today. If you want to try to meet somebody for festival season, which is fast approaching, or just, a concert buddy, even to just check out some music with, you can do that. And, we love feedback. So definitely, if you have an experience with the app you'd like to share, feel free to reach out to us.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to spell it out. It's Vinally, if those who are not driving want to jot this down. It's VINY LLY. So like vinyl with an extra LY at the end. Thank you so much for your time, Rachel. Great to chat with you.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're almost out of runway, so I'm going to save that one last chat with Kevin Smith, the Kevin Smith, filmmaker extraordinaire, for next weekend or so. We chatted about the 25th anniversary of BlackBerry, so we'll just put that on ice as we've run out of time. I do want to give a shout out, though, to Visa, whose mission is to protect your purchases, whether it's at retail or online. Visa.com/security has more. A huge thank you to Intel, the title sponsor on this program. Your next laptop hopefully will be powered by an Intel Core Ultra processor with some smarts under the hood, some AI on chip. And at the risk of sounding preachy, speaking of computers, don't forget to properly back up your important files on a regular basis, just in case. I always trust my data to Western Digital or WD drives, as well as SanDisk external drives, both of which don't require a monthly subscription cost, nor does it require the internet, which I really like. Thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this show. We spoke with Hisense about giant TVs ahead of Super Bowl Sunday, as well as an app called Vinally, a matchmaking app for music lovers. It was a busy show today, and you can expect the same next weekend as well. We'll do it all over again with new guests and more topics. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. Have a great rest of your day. We'll catch up with you next time for another new episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.